Hello, this is not Data Target collection video. So we start off with the first ever story, Doctor Who and an Unearthly Child, the TARDIS in the Junkyard there. This is the first edition. I definitely recommend getting it. However, a lot of people do seem to start with a story, which I did have a reprint of, but I finally got my hands on one of the sort of original looking ones. It's not a first edition. The Doctor Who and the Daleks there. It's an amazing story. And there's a reason why that cover's so famous. It's one of the, I've got all three of the original three. Marco Polo, great story. I love it. Yeah, really, really nice. Keys and Mariners, my favourite First Doctor story of all time. It's just such a good story. The Aztecs, yes, a really, really good cover overall. The TARDIS there in the background. The Sensorites finishing off season 1 for me. Yeah, really, really good. I do absolutely adore this story. So just making a bit of a jump, I've got Doctor Who and the Zarbi next. Really nice story. Yes, I couldn't find the original version of it, so I got my hands on that. Speaking of the original a few Target books, I've got Doctor Who and the Crusaders. Yes, I didn't know anything about the Crusades. I really should listen to the audio. I have got the audio, I probably will. You've got the First Doctor there, a character there, and then you've got some fighting in the background. Galaxy 4, one of my favourite missing serials of all time. The Dravins, The Planet That's Due to Explode. William Ems actually wrote it. Beautiful cover as well. Daleks Master Plan Parts 2, probably the rarest in my collection. Yes, Red Dalek there, Heartland in the background, a mutation of time, and that sort of swirl almost indicating the world being taken over by the Daleks. 10th Planet, obviously the First Doctor's last outing, an amazing one it is as well. Beautiful Cybermen design there. Second Doctor's era now, the Highlanders, Jamie's first story. Jamie looking really good there. The TARDIS again in the background. It's just a wonderful thing they do with a couple of the 80s stories. Doctor Who and the Cybermen, one of my, not one of my, sorry, my favourite Troughton story. The Moonbase / Doctor Who and the Cybermen of all time. The Invasion Cybermen there, and the Second Doctor. Doctor Who and the Enemy of the World. You've got Astrid there, and you've got, I think, Giles Kent. Amazing story. Yes, the War Games. Great story, and it goes to monochrome if you get this sort of the Blue Spine edition, which I like because, you know, it's the final story of the 60s, and then of course you go on and you get the beautiful cover of Doctor Who and the Autumn Invasion, which is completely in colour, which is really nice because it was the first Doctor Who story ever broadcasting cover. The Cave Monsters, great story, just finished reading it, really would recommend. Inferno, beautiful cover, the red eyes there and the sort of dusty lab coat. The Terror of the Autons, with the Nestine consciousness obviously there. Yeah, great story, love it. Master in the corner there, lurking. The Mutants, a great book, yeah, I do like, and the TARDIS there as well, and the Crystal and the Mutants, really, really nice. The Green Death, what a momentous story. It's a brilliant story. What about the environment as well? You've got the creatures there and the dragonfly there. Really, really good. Sarah Jane Smith's first adventure, The Time Warrior, and the first time for the Centaurans as well. Dinosaur Invasion one I really, really, really enjoyed. I just thought it was very good. You know, a really good Target book. My streak starts here now. I've got Doctor Who and the Planet of the Spiders. Giant Robot, beautiful first edition there. The Ark in Space. The Sontaran Experiment. The Genesis of the Daleks, one that I really want to read again. And to finish the streak, The Revenge of the Cybermen. Cybermen there. Doctor's head in the clouds in the explosion. Hand of Fear, yes, I've got no stories from the 13th season. Sarah looking wonderful there, obviously Sarah's last story. The Face of Evil, Doctor Who, The Face of Evil. Leela there, the Doctor's sort of other side is there as well. Season 16, now the Rabs Operation, really nice. The Pirate Planet, again, just a really lovely story. Power of Kral, great one, but I really enjoy it. The Armageddon Factor, my favourite cover of all time, this story. The tracker, Romana, all looking beautiful. City of Death, my favourite televised story of all time. Amazing. Just an amazing idea, amazing concepts in it. The Nightmare of Eden. The Doctor looking alright there, but the Mandrill looks amazing. Meg Gloss, again, a really good Fourth Doctor story, I'm not going to lie. Keeper Traken, Nyssa there, Melka lurking behind. You know, there's so much stuff about Classic Doctor Who, so that's why a lot of these target books, I say the same about Legopolis. I think this is a brilliant cover. It just completely envisions season 18, sort of in a way. Obviously without Romana, you've got the Doctor there, the Monitor, Tegan, Adric and Nyssa. Fifth Doctor, my favourite Doctor of all time, Castrovalva now. I do love Castrovalva, I think it's just such a good story. Fort of Doomsday, probably my least favourite cover of all time, but it is it's a good story. Kinder, a very good story. It's very different. You've got the Fifth Doctor, they're almost looking on to that. The Visitation, probably my favourite Fifth Doctor story of all time. I love it. It's got Tegan in it, and I love Tegan. Time Flight, yes, Time Flight does seem to have a thing about covers, doesn't it? It can't really create. No one can really create a good one for it. I don't mean to be rude to whoever created this cover. It's fine, but I just can't really. You know, I have to look twice to see if that's a Concord sometimes. Caves of Androzani. I love the Caves of Androzani. You know, it is really good, and it's got Perry in it. I love Perry. Twin Dilemma. I think it's really underrated Doctor Who story. You know, it's a good Doctor Who story. What they created was a good 80s classic Doctor Who story. Dragonfire, again, one that I'm obviously Ace, Seventh Doctor there, Kane, I think, sort of melting in the crystal. Ghostlight, better. This is one of the target books where I say it's better in target. The story is better in target form. It just explains a lot more. This is almost as if Ghostlight was a 4-parter. Curse of Femric, on my to read list, it's just so massive. It's like the Zarbi that I just don't want to. You know, that I just can't get around to it. I will. Survival, amazing story. You have Rose. I'm not a great fan of the modern series. I don't think it's as good. I like how all Doctor Who is serialised and there's a lot more of it. Rose, yeah, it is a good episode, however. And The Witchfinders finishes my target book collection. So I hope you enjoyed. There's lots of them there, ranging from Anna and Effie Child all the way to The Witchfinders, with quite a few in between.